If you're trying to hatch like this with a ballpoint pen, this video is for you. Now, there are three main steps or three key things you need to know when it comes to hatching with pen. And also, this can work for pencil, so don't get it twisted. This can work for most drawing materials. Number one line at a time. The reason why I say one line at a time is because if you go zigzag back and forth, you're gonna get these dark points at the end of each line. That's something you don't want. You want the line to be continuous. You want the line just to be even. You want it to look consistent, you know? You don't want any different values, any different points or smudges on the line itself. That's why you need to hatch in one direction. Many people ask me, why not just cross hatch, you know? And I've done it before. I've done it many times. Beginning of my career when I started drawing with pen, that's all I did was crosshatch. Now I don't crosshatch as much just because if you hatch, it just looks so much cleaner. So much cleaner. All lines going in the same direction. I mean, you can't tell me otherwise. I'm not going back. Once I started just hatching mainly, I can't go back. This is something I just love to look at. It makes the skin texture of portraits, it makes the surfaces look so smooth of objects depending on what you're drawing. When I look at my portraits from back then when I first started drawing with pen versus now, my portraits now are so clean, so smooth. Everything just looks perfect. Number two, hand pressure. Hand pressure is the most important out of these three. Hand pressure controls how dark your line is, how thick your line is, how thin, how light. It's the key to getting consistent, clean lines when you do hatch. The first thing you need to know about drawing with pen and hand pressure is how to hold it. I get this question a lot. The way you hold your pen is how you hold your pen when you write something down, right? How you naturally hold your pen when you draw. Don't try to change it up for anything. Keep it natural how you normally do it. Another question is, what angle do you draw the line in? You know what angle you draw the line is. However you draw a line when you hatch naturally, that's the way it should be drawing that line. It doesn't have to be a specific angle. It just has to come natural. Take your pen, hold it like you're about to write something down. Just let it rest in your fingers. Do not like grip it too tight. Just let it rest like so and place it on the paper. Now, as light as you can, draw a line. One line. Whichever direction that line is naturally drawn, that's the angle you're supposed to be drawing. And you want to make it as light as possible and do this over and over and over. A great technique and a great practice is to get a blank sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be any specific type of paper. It could be notebook paper. And you're going to do this same thing over and over and over until you filled up the whole entire page of the paper. Do this for the next sheet of paper, then the next sheet. Eventually, you're going to be so shocked on how much hand control you have, how much hand pressure you can apply to the paper without barely touching the pen. And then you're going to eventually be able to transition from the dark value to a light value or a light value to a dark value. Especially when it comes to portraits, that is super important to know. Your hand pressure, your hand control, you need to know how to transition from that darkest value to this very bright highlight and how to make it look smooth, seamless, and cohesive. That's why hand pressure is really important. This is what I mean when I say going from a dark value to a light value. You see how smooth my lines are? You see how controlled my hand pressure is? That's what you need to do when you do draw with a ballpoint pen. You need to hold it very lightly, barely touch the pen on the paper, and just draw towards you naturally. Layer these lines on top of one another over and over and over, and then eventually you're going to knock out the lines. You're not going to see the lines that much anymore. And that's how you get smooth textures with drawing with a ballpoint pen and how to have that great hand pressure. Number three, spacing. Hand pressure can control value, but spacing really controls the value. Space between each line determines how light or how dark that value is. The closer the lines, the darker the value tends to be. The more spaced apart each line is, the lighter the value typically. When you do draw in highlights or brighter areas, when you shade it in, make sure the lines are more spaced apart so it can indicate, a lighter value. You're probably asking yourself, how do I know when to apply a lot of pressure on the paper and when not to apply that much pressure? Well, you know based on your instincts. For example, if I'm drawing in a dark value, I'm always start off light. No matter what you do, start off light. Now, if it's a very, 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 very dark value, just go in with a lot of pressure, just fill it in, you know what I mean? But for the most part, you're just gonna draw light continuously for everything you shade in. I mean, everything. In order to darken light hatching or just light shading, you just go over it again and again and again until you get your desired value. And that's how you darken values using light hand pressure when you do hatch. Look, I'm not here to waste your time. That's why I just went right into it. We have draw in one direction, one line at a time. Do not go back and forth. Do not zigzag. One line at a time. Draw a line, pick up the pen, do another line. Two, hand pressure. Hand pressure is the most important out of these three because that determines how cohesive your lines are, how clean they are. Build that muscle memory on how to control the hand pressure. Three, spacing. Spacing is the key to getting the light values look light and getting the dark values to look dark. Closer the lines are to one another, the darker the value. The more spaced apart the lines are, the lighter the value. Anyone can learn how to draw with a ballpoint pen. Like, I kid you not. I know people say, oh, you're born with being a talented artist. No, you learn how to do it. I learned how to do it. I stuck with it. I stayed consistent. Once you stay consistent with drawing with pencil, pen, and finding that technique that works best for you, and you keep at it, you keep drawing, keep practicing, you're gonna get there eventually. The more time you put in, the better you get. That's what happened with me. I'm still young, and if you're young or older, it can happen for you in no time. Just literally practice what I went over in this video over and over on a scratch sheet of paper, and you're gonna build that muscle memory. If you don't know what that muscle memory is basically that instinct. Your muscles just know what to do and how to do it. For example, a track runner. I used to run hurdles in high school. You know, I used to run track. At first, when I jumped over my first hurdle, I didn't know what I was doing. I tripped multiple times. It was terrible. I didn't have feet coordination with the hurdle. I didn't know how far I was supposed to be from the hurdle in order to jump over it. But once you practice over and over, you can do it like that. So even now, I haven't ran track in years, but I guarantee you, if I go on the track right now, I know how to jump over at least one hurdle with proper form because my muscle remembers how to do it. That's what you have to do for drawing. It's all really muscle memory. You know, that's really all it is because you're using your hand, you're using a muscle to draw. Don't be afraid of using the ballpoint pen, all right? It's your best friend. Treat it like a pencil. If you mess up, don't be discouraged. Just start over, you know, or work on something else. Don't be scared of this ballpoint pen. You control it, it doesn't control you. And that's what a lot of beginners, they get confused about. They feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be very careful because I can't erase, or I might mess up, I might make a mistake. That's how you learn. You make mistakes to learn. Just go at it. Don't be scared of it. If you want to learn how to draw with a ballpoint pen, especially if you're a beginner, I did release a video course that will help you draw like what I showed you in this video and how to draw using a ballpoint pen, from basic techniques from hatching, cross hatching, stippling, scribbling, also transitions. I do a full tutorial on how to draw a flower and how to create smooth texture with this tool right here. And I don't gatekeep anything. I don't be like, oh, go on the link to find out how much it is. No. I priced it at $25. It's around 49 minutes long, I believe. And I priced it at $25 because I know a lot of beginners, they don't want to spend an arm and leg for a video course. This one will help you get better with drawing with a pen, how to draw smoothly with a pen in no time. And that's why I wanted to charge only $25 for it. I want more people to understand this technique. My goal is not only just to make money from drawing, my goal is actually to help you become a better artist. That's why I have so many free tutorials. But this course, I really dive deep into drawing with a pen, how to draw with a pen, and how to actually get better with drawing with a pen. You can do it. I believe in you. Till next time, peace out.